Hello everyone. I am sitting on my villa's balcony looking over the beach in Aragon Bay in Sri Lanka, and I'm on a month's holiday, and I just wanted to record a quick video because we were here a few days ago. We left to go do safari and went further down the coast, and then we got further down the coast and we realised that we actually didn't like where we were, and we really missed Aragon Bay because there's nice surf and nice people, and we'd made friends and it was really fun. And so then we had to make a decision about what to do, and it's like, do we go back to Aragon Bay or do we keep travelling on around Sri Lanka? And what was interesting for me was something that really came up for me was this big fear about making the decision. And when we made the decision, I had this big guilt, and it was based around money, and it was based around this fear of not having enough, or fear of making the wrong decision, or fear of lack. And it's something that often comes up for me when I make decisions, and especially when it involves money, because it was going to cost us money to come back to Aragon Bay in a taxi. And so I had this huge amount of guilt, and I don't know why. It was just really bizarre. We were making a decision, but it was going to cost us money, and it was like, what do we do? We've got another, 7, 8, 9 nights in Sri Lanka. It's like, do we go back and have an awesome time with our friends surfing, and my partner wanted to go back to the surf, or do we keep travelling? And we made the decision, but I still had this enormous guilt. And so I actually then, while we were in the car coming back, started to listen to this podcast with Karen Smith that was about money and your beliefs around money. And I actually did a few processes that really helped me work through the fear. So I thought I'd share it with you. And one of the things was, I've done Danielle Laporte's core desired feelings, and I have my core desired feelings that when I decide to make a decision, I use those core desired feelings to make the decision, and I wasn't doing that at the time. And so all this fear, this ego talk was, chattering around in my head, and I wasn't really thinking from my heart space. And so I actually went back to my core desired feelings, and my core desired feelings are freedom, love, connection, to be nourished, and abundance. And so I then asked myself the question, well, is going back to this beautiful spot that we're in, I'm just going to quickly show you where we are. It's beautiful. And is going back to that spot going to make me feel these feelings that I want to feel? And the answer was yes. And so very quickly, the rest of it dissipated. And then as I was going through and I was listening to the podcast that was about money, it made me realise that there was, it was that whole fear of I'm not enough, or that belief system that I'm not enough that was coming through. And then it made me think that actually this fear around money that most people have has such an impact on your health, because it creates stress. And stress, it's an unnecessary stress, because really when you look at money comes and goes, and it's just an energetic form, and it's the attachment to money that actually limits us. And so in regards to your health, it creates stress, but it also when you're doing something, or when you're making a decision about your health, and it's like, oh, I should do this, like for example, I should eat organic food, or I should go see a naturopath, or I should go and get my chiropractic adjustment, whatever it is that's going to actually help you, get your body closer to, or help your body heal. And then your fear about money comes up, it's actually going to affect your health, because you're going to be feeling this fear, and you're not going to make the decision that's based around what you really need, because you're so engulfed by the fear around money, or the fear around I'm not enough, or whatever it is for you. And I know so many people have this fear and this stuff that comes up around money, and this is why I really wanted to share it, because it made me realize, I was like, this actually does have such a big impact on your health, because your belief system around money really does impact the decisions that you make and the decisions that you do in regards to your health, or even in your everyday life, like in other areas of your life. But the stress that you create around it will definitely impact your health, because stress is such a huge component of health and how you manage your stress. And so I could actually feel that fear and let the guilt bubble inside me and not deal with it, or I could actually work it through. And so while I was sitting in the car on the way back to Aragon Bay, I actually started journaling, and I was listening to this podcast, and I started journaling through the ways, and I started looking at my core desired feelings, and I was using lots of different tools to actually help me work through it. And I realised that coming back here, even though it was going to cost us money to make that decision, because we left our hotel where we were early and we lost a bit of money on that, but now I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's the best decision I made, because we're both happy. We both went for a surf this morning and it was pretty good. The waves were a bit bigger, so it scared me a little bit more, another fear. But I got out there and I did it anyway. And it was a good decision. But I think if I hadn't have worked through that fear, all those feelings of guilt and stuff around the money thing, I probably would still be feeling a little bit funky. And so it made me realise how important it is to, when this stuff comes up, especially around money, to really work through it, because it is ultimately going to affect your health. So, and question, what it is, what is the attachment that you have to money, and what are your beliefs around money, and how are they serving you, and if they're not serving you, work through them and actually figure out a way to, just look at your beliefs and figure out a way to look at things differently, and ask yourself the question, how can I see this differently? How can I see this? How can I flip it around so it is serving me? And even saying things like, I can't afford it. It's like, okay, well, how can I afford it? How can I make this work? And, is it really at the end of the day a big deal, or am I just making it, a mountain out of a molehill? So that's all I have to share. I know it's a bit of a long one today, but I really just had to, download this, because it was such a big thing for me, and I know that a lot of other people feel the same way. So if you have had this same sort of experience, or you have worked through your belief systems around money and realised how it's affected your health, or you haven't even had, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear them and share them in the comments below. So thank you, and have a beautiful day. See you guys.